Tonight, you are going to climb into a soft, padded rectangle, pull a layer of fabric over your body, and lose consciousness for 8 hours. You will do this without thinking. You will do this without questioning it. But if you told any human who lived before, about 200 years ago, what you were sleeping on, they would look at you like you had described sleeping inside a cloud. Because the modern bed, the mattress, the box spring, the pillow top, the weighted blanket, is one of the strangest objects your species has ever invented. And your body, built over millions of years to sleep a very different way, has absolutely no idea what to do with it. You are not built for your bed. That is the thing nobody tells you. For 300,000 years, Homo sapiens slept on the ground. Before that, your evolutionary ancestors spent millions more years sleeping in trees, on rock ledges, on compressed leaves, on dirt. The surface beneath a sleeping human was always hard, always firm, always real. The soft mattress has existed for roughly 0.06% of your species' history, and yet you have been convinced, somehow, that it is the natural way to rest. It is not. It is one of the most radical departures from ancestral behavior that modern life has produced, and it is quietly doing things to your body that researchers are only now beginning to understand. Start with the spine. Anthropologist David Carrier at the University of Utah has spent years studying the mechanical demands that bipedal locomotion places on the human body. The spine, he argues, is a compression structure. It is designed to be loaded vertically, not to sag horizontally across a soft surface for hours. When you lie down on a soft mattress, your hips and shoulders sink in. Your lumbar spine loses its natural curvature. The muscles along your back, which should relax, instead fire in low-level sustained contractions all night long, trying to stabilize a structure that was never meant to be unsupported in this way. You wake up stiff. You call it sleeping wrong. But the surface is the variable that changed, not your body. Hunter-gatherer populations who still sleep on the ground today do not report the chronic lower back pain that plagues industrialized societies. A 2019 study published in the journal Sleep by researchers at the University of Sao Paulo compared sleep quality and musculoskeletal pain across groups sleeping on firm surfaces versus soft mattresses. The results were quietly startling. The firm surface sleepers reported better sleep continuity and lower incidence of morning back stiffness, not because firm surfaces are magical, but because firm surfaces are what the body expects. Your body has expectations. That is the part of this that keeps being overlooked. Evolution does not work in real time. Your nervous system, your musculature, your spinal architecture. These were all shaped across millions of years of sleeping on surfaces that pushed back. Hard surfaces give your body positional feedback all night. Every time you shift, every time you roll over, the ground tells you where you are. A soft mattress absorbs that information. It swallows the feedback. And your proprioceptive system, the network of sensors that tells your brain where your body is in space, gets quieter and quieter until it cannot do its job properly. Think about what sleep actually is for a moment, not what it feels like, what it does. Neuroscientist Matthew Walker, author of the landmark work on sleep science, describes sleep as the single most effective thing a human being can do to reset the brain and body every 24 hours. During sleep, your glymphatic system, a kind of cleaning network in the brain, activates and flushes out metabolic waste products, including the amyloid plaques associated with Alzheimer's disease. Your immune system consolidates its memory of pathogens. Your motor cortex replays the movements you learned during the day, cementing them into long-term procedural memory. Sleep is not a passive state. It is the most active maintenance phase your biology runs. And the surface you run it on is not a minor variable. Here is where it gets stranger. Your ancient ancestors did not sleep in one long, unbroken block. Historian Roger Ekirch at Virginia Tech spent 16 years researching pre-industrial sleep patterns and published his findings in a book that permanently changed how sleep researchers think about what normal human sleep actually looks like. Before artificial light, humans slept in two separate phases. A first sleep from roughly dusk until midnight, a waking period of 1 to 2 hours. Then a second sleep until dawn. The period in between was not insomnia. It was used for prayer, for conversation, for sex, for quiet reflection. Ekirch found references to this pattern in hundreds of historical documents spanning cultures across the world. The single consolidated 8-hour block of sleep that you consider normal is, historically speaking, an industrial-era invention. And it was normalized in lockstep with the invention of artificial lighting, the factory workday, and eventually, the modern bed. So you are not just sleeping on the wrong surface. You are sleeping in the wrong shape of time. Both of these things happened simultaneously. Both were driven not by what your biology needed, but by what industrial life required. But what about comfort? What about the undeniable feeling that a soft bed feels better? Here is the counterintuitive part. Comfort is not the same as rest. Comfort is a sensation your brain generates in the first few minutes of an experience. Rest is what your body accumulates across hours of optimal physiological function. A soft mattress can feel deeply comfortable at 10 p.m. That does not mean it is serving your biology at 3 a.m. The sensation of sinking into softness triggers a reward signal in your brain, a release of tension, a sense of safety, a pleasant warmth. That signal was adaptive once. Soft material in an ancestral environment meant one thing. You were lying in a nest of compressed leaves or grasses, which meant shelter, which meant relative safety. The softness was a signal. Now you have industrialized the signal without the context that made it meaningful. Researchers at Keio University in Japan studied groups of adults who transitioned from sleeping on mattresses to sleeping on thin floor futons or firm mats over a period of 90 days. The transition was uncomfortable for the first 2 weeks. Subjects reported hip soreness, unfamiliar stiffness, trouble falling asleep. By week 6, something shifted. Sleep onset time decreased. Subjects reported waking, feeling more physically restored. Back pain scores dropped. By week 12, the majority of subjects reported preferring the firm surface. Not because they had convinced themselves to like it, but because their bodies had remembered something they had forgotten. Your body has a memory that goes back further than you do. And then there is temperature. This one almost nobody talks about. In ancestral environments, the ground is cool. Even in warm climates, the earth a few inches below the surface maintains a temperature significantly lower than the ambient air. Sleeping in contact with a cool surface promotes the drop in core body temperature that sleep scientists now know is essential to entering deep sleep. Your core temperature must fall by 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit for deep sleep to initiate properly. A soft, padded mattress insulates you. It traps your body heat. It slows the temperature drop. And then it warms you further through the night, at exactly the wrong time. Your body expects to sleep cool. Your bed is trying to keep you warm. These are working against each other every single night. Matthew Walker's research team at UC Berkeley has shown that even small disruptions to the core temperature drop can reduce slow-wave sleep, the deepest and most physically restorative phase, by up to 20%. 20%. Every night. Accumulated across years, that is an enormous biological debt, quietly compounding in a body that never once questioned why it felt tired in the morning. So here is the mirror. Right now, somewhere in a rural community in Brazil, a person is sleeping on a hammock stretched between 2 trees. In the Bolivian Amazon, the Tsimane people, one of the most cardiovascularly healthy populations ever studied, sleep on thin, woven mats or the ground. In Japan, millions of people sleep on thin floor mattresses called futons, a practice that researchers continue to associate with lower rates of morning back pain and higher reported sleep quality. These populations have not discovered something new. They have simply never stopped doing what humans have always done. You, on the other hand, are sleeping on a $30,000 mattress and waking up exhausted and wondering what is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Something is wrong with the object beneath you. The bed you sleep on is not the product of your biology. It is the product of an industry. The global mattress market is worth over $43 billion and grows every year, sustained by the belief that softer means better, that more layers mean more rest, that the right mattress will finally solve the problem. But the problem is not the mattress you chose. The problem is the category itself, the idea that a thick, soft, elevated surface is the natural and optimal place for a human body to spend a third of its life. That idea is roughly 200 years old. The human body it is being applied to is 300,000 years older than that. Tonight, when you climb into your soft, padded rectangle, your ancient body will do what it has always done. It will try to sleep. It will try to restore, to consolidate, to repair. It will do this despite the soft surface working against it, despite the heat building up beneath you, despite the lack of ground feedback your nervous system was built to receive. It will do its best. It always does. The question is not whether you can sleep in a modern bed. The question is what you are leaving behind every night that you do. Because the real reason your bed feels so good, the reason every human who lies down in a soft, comfortable space exhales and lets go, is not because softness is natural. It is because your nervous system, for one brief moment, interprets that sinking feeling as safety. And for an animal that spent millions of years sleeping on hard ground, watching for predators in the dark, that feeling of safe is so rare, so precious, so deeply wired into the oldest parts of your brain that your body floods with relief every single time. You are not relaxing into comfort. You are relaxing into the illusion of safety. And that feeling, ancient, irrational, and completely real, is the weirdest thing your modern bed has ever given you.